Zach Hardaker play at fullback, but he's been in stellar form for Leeds in that position all year. No Sam Burgess, but little brother Tom will come off the bench at some point, and lots of potential star quality in that England side. 4 debutants for New Zealand. They're missing some established star quality because of injuries, but Roger Tuivasa-Sheck has taken the NRL by storm this year. Isaac Luke is arguably the best hooker in the world at present, and young Cody Nikorima could come off the bench and light up any game, and that is just to mention 3 of them. Referee tonight is Englishman Ben Thaler, who we saw on the BBC when he officiated in the Challenge Cup final for the very first time this year. Mr. Child and Mr. Martin, the touch judges. We have video referees as well. The last 2 games between these 2 sides have seen a last-second World Cup semi-final win for New Zealand. A dramatic late 4 Nations win for New Zealand. There are some senior England players who are still twitching at the frustration of lost opportunities. Well, this set of England players have the chance to get the job done. And a Welshman alongside me, and an Englishman alongside me. Jonathan Davis, the Welshman, first of all.
Yeah, I think I agree with some of the boys. International rugby is all about results. And for me, you know, they've created a lot of opportunities, but they haven't had the cutting edge behind. If you look at the English backline, I think that's been rectified now. All these you know, try scorers week in, week out in the Super League. So, I know the inexperience of the New Zealanders, especially at the half-backs, I definitely think that, you know, England start as favourites. But as we've mentioned, you know, tremendous talent in the New Zealand ranks.
Yeah, tremendous work there from England initially with that defensive set, which has allowed them to start this round about the halfway after 3 tackles. But I'm not buying into this inexperience with New Zealand. 188 international caps against England's 154. They're certainly out there. They've got the T-shirt. It's time for England to earn the T-shirt.
And as a proud Yorkshireman, you can bet that John has spent many hours checking and rechecking those figures. I tell you who's not been mentioned as well in the build-up, I don't think I've heard his name, Callum Watkins, who could be an absolute star in this series. And here he is, looking to loom in on defence, but it's Nightingale who runs away from him. And New Zealand in possession with a good kick there from England's point of view.
Yeah, that's what they've got to do. I think they've got to complete their sets, not panic, keep their composure.
To movement, Chris! Ready, boys?
Just going through the early motions here. The softening up process as forwards try to establish some kind of foothold here. Sean Kenny-Dowell, the winger, in to help out with a drive forward for New Zealand. Isaac Luke at dummy half. He's an absolute star performer, Isaac Luke. He really is pivotal to that New Zealand effort. We saw him against Leeds last week. We've seen him for Souths all year. Here's the kick on the 6 from Peter Hiku, who last time England played against New Zealand was a fullback, but a makeshift standoff tonight. And here's Burgess. It's a familiar name, but it's a different clan. He's no relation whatsoever to the more famous Burgess brothers. And he's on his way to Australia next year.
They'll be very happy with that, the New Zealand team, because that was a pretty good kick. It found the space there, and it's made England work the way out from their own line.
Watkins plays it. Hardaker, his Leeds teammate, at dummy half, and it's taken in by Elliot Whitehead, another who's Australian bound at the end of the year, on his way to Canberra in the NRL. And this is Hill now, Chris Hill.
Yeah, good play of the ball. Good angle, good speed by Hill. Very deceptive for the big man. He's got quick feet.
Hodgson spinning it back midfield. Williams with a kick away. Underneath it will be Kenny-Dowell, who patches it safely enough. It's a decent chase. The wall of white, as England have been dubbing themselves over the last couple of years, the wall of white was up there in a very straight line.
I think they'll have a little bit of patience. You're not going to score. Brilliant step. You're not going to score on every set, and that's what you've got to build pressure, have a little bit of patience. It's going to be very physical the first 20 minutes, play in the right areas, and when the opportunity comes from either brilliant play or a mistake, that's when you have to seize it.
Look away to Lola here, and here comes Kevin Proctor, the Melbourne man. He's been a one-club player throughout his career with the Melbourne Storm. Had plenty of success with that club down the years. And a good offload as well. Has got Tuivasa-Sheck on his step. The little flick pass as well. Here comes Fare on the right-hand side. Kenny-Dowell will keep it alive to Proctor. And New Zealand press and probe
This is where they're dangerous. The offloading game, they stand off with a quick feet. Batazashek, Hiku, Lolohea.
Sixth tackle coming up. It's Lolohea who puts a little kick through. It's Hall who connects behind his own line but gets back to safety. And the ball will be back in the field of play.
That was a really important piece of play there by the wingman Ryan Hall. He had to get back in the field of play to prevent a second consecutive set to New Zealand. But you just sense that the Kiwis are now up in the ante a little in defence.
That's a very good set from the Kiwis. The previous one, you know, they came about 70 metres.
Here's Graham, who has been wowing it in Australia for the last few years. James Graham, even the Aussies think he's arguably the best prop forward in the world at the moment. O'Loughlin along the line. Now they go wide with Bateman. Bateman tries to push. Faré grabs a hold. He's a makeshift centre, is Bateman. It's a position he's played a lot in for Wigan this year, but he will tell you he's much more comfortable in the second row. Where have we heard that argument before? Kick downfield by Widdop. And it's going to be collected safely enough by Bromwich. And New Zealand, oh, it's a great offload from Bromwich, just to catch England unawares.
Another one.
Nightingale got the latest away. Chris, swinging arm from O'Loughlin.
You've got to wrap them offloads up. That's when these boys are really, really dangerous.
Well, they have made about 20 yards there, haven't they, with those two offloads? Really driven England back.
Well, England are really committing numbers into the tackle, and one of the ways of diffusing that is by offloading. It makes it really difficult then to repeat the numbers in the tackle, time after time.
But if you're chucking numbers in, John, they have to wrap it up, don't they? If you're chucking numbers in and then the offload comes, you are short.
Well, there's a pass, and suddenly a chance for Harris to run for the line and score the opening try of the series. And it has taken New Zealand merely 6 minutes. Tohu Harris, who famously missed out on the World Cup trip here a couple of years ago because Sonny Bill Williams made himself available again, is making up for lost time with that early try.
And again, very, very clinical. There's the offload, gets some yardage, and then Nightingale takes her in. Again, another offload.
And what that does, Jonathan, it buys field position. There's some lovely shape work there. And the halfback went right to the line, pulled an England defender out. Offloaded there to Harris, and despite Hardaker's best attempt, he managed to ground the ball.
Yeah, they got the numbers wrong there. Williams was called in, and that's it. He just run into a very, very big hole, and they won't be happy with that. Very simple play, nothing, really that clever about it. They got the numbers wrong and paid the price for it. Very, very good start for, the Kiwis.
Well, his Casey crowd, which seemed a little nervous in the opening minutes anyway, has just been silenced. And Isaac Luke has a chance to add the 2 to Tohu Harris's 4. He was one of the players who survived from the 2008 World Cup winning side. Isaac Luke has been a star performer for some years now, but he's not a star with that kick. On this occasion, it's wide by a distance, and it remains 4-0 for New Zealand.
No, good. Keep going, just 10 metres, mate. I know. I also had it with Zach, didn't I, over there?
I think if you look at it, John, it's nothing really. It's just round the back. Again, it's a short ball. They number off wrongly, and some goes in and some goes out defensively. That's an easy hole.
Very, very well executed there, though, and I just like the way they played that player at the line, which obviously engages and interests the defenders and makes defenders make decisions. And unfortunately for England, they made the wrong decisions in that instance.
So first blood New Zealand as Hardaker lofts that ball upfield again, and driven in by Samoa, who spent 4 years of his career at this ground, of course, playing with Hull FC. Proctor down that right side. England looking to hold a bit of ground here to try and get the ball back and put some pressure on inside the New Zealand half if they can. Stephen Kearney and his staff there looking on. Here's Luke from dummy half. This is Bromwich, who's got the arm free again.
I think, listen to a lot of the New Zealand talk. You talk about culture and legacy and respect for the jersey, whichever, when they represent the country. And that's what you have to expect from the youngsters, have to perform to that and attain the levels of the people that have been there previously. And I think that's very, very important.
Tiku's kick, it's a decent first step by Hardacre to get him past the first man, but two more men in black are waiting for him eagerly.
But as a New Zealand team, David, be very happy there when you receive the kick-off for England's first tackle to be 10 metres away from their own goal line.
Wait!
So pressure on England in these early stages. Here comes Hall. Looks like a prop and runs with the power of a prop, but he is a winger.
He plays like a prop sometimes, doesn't he? When he comes in and relieves a lot of pressure, numbers.
And this is good on this near side as Whitehead threatens to make a telling break. Hodgson now at dummy half. He's got Williams on his inside. Williams skipping away. Graham, standing start for him, but bowls it back to Hodgson again. This now is Watkins. Spun by Hodgson. Oh, it was read superbly well by Dean Farah.
You don't want to be on the end of those long flat passes.
So sixth tackle is hoisted high by Widdop. Hall's underneath it, has knocked it back, but it's into Kiwi hands, and here's danger again now. The break is on, the cover is across though. Hardacre as well at fullback.
Great tackle first of all. Lovely break. Good play by England and New Zealand there.
Move, Callum! Yeah, boys. Elliot, where do you make two?
So New Zealand find themselves 30 yards away again. It's Harris who will drive it in. But England have got some work to do here.
So they're making easy yards at the moment, aren't they, the New Zealand forwards, John?
They're playing outstanding at the minute, and it's pretty much error-free, but there's still offloads and ball movements within the sets.
Isaac looking at dummy half again. It's taken on by Lonaher, who brings it back towards his near side. It's danced by Bromwich, who looks for a bit of muscularity down the middle, but finds it matched, albeit by four Englishmen. The referee had shouted hell, so had he got over there, it wouldn't have counted anyway. With a bit of momentum after the event. Lola here with a kick into that in-goal area, but Burgess watches it away. And it will be a tap back on the 20, and ain't that a relief for England?
I think their line speed has got to increase. I think they're a bit passive at the moment, England. Easy yardage from the key. That's a great hit.
So here comes Hall with the first drive forward, and you could hear that sense of anticipation from England supporters as he came across. It's Bateman down the middle. So
yeah, it's good to see the three quarters there from England getting in there and taking a bit of weight off the forwards' work.
She's developing into a decent set here from England because they find themselves inside New Zealand territory, and they've still got three tackles to come. Graham out the back door. Widdop's pass looked forward.
Move, Kevin!
He's allowed to get on with
here,
it.
please. Keep coming at him.
Hodgson.
No.
Hill to his right. Hill's got an offload on him as well, but not on that occasion. Here comes the last tackle. Hodgson goes left. It's Widdop who'll chip it towards the corner. Hall is in there to offer the battle, but up goes the winger Kenny Dow, and New Zealand have it back again.
I think you'll see that tactic employed a great deal, because Ryan Hall is an exceptional wingman at claiming the high ball. And it stands to reason, if you've got somebody who does that, as Coach McNamara will have indicated, put the ball up there, make it a contest time after time.
Oh, the offload has gone forward.
That's a great set by England, first and foremost. And now they forced the air there, looking for the offload, which wasn't really on. And this is the first attacking opportunity now for England. Look, this is the, you got to, they're playing the, the high-risk offload game, but that was a ridiculous offload. Paid the price for it, and now England have got to try and capitalise on it. First real attacking situation for them. Full set, about 30 metres out.
Jimmy Lowe is just to the right of Steve McNamara, his assistant, Paul Wellens.
10 points, really good.
Is that Paul just sitting in front? I don't think it is, but Paul Wellens is part of the coaching staff as well here, isn't he? So he's got a lot of very experienced lieutenants alongside him. Steve McNamara. Here comes Williams.
Movement!
Difficult ball to take.
Wait here, guys. Wait! Go.
Hodgson. It's O'Loughlin who straightens up.
Movement, Kevin!
Four tackles still to come. England get a penalty. Make that 6 tackles still to come, unless they choose to kick the goal here. Little conversation going on with...
I'm pretty certain they'll tap this day, because it's the first time they've been on the New Zealand line, so England need to build a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, they haven't really tested the New Zealand defensive line yet. So now, great opportunity.
Here comes Graham, swinging it away. Widdop goes further left. Bateman with a little step.
Oh, great tackle again.
Farah got right into him, didn't he?
2 big hits already, Farah, hasn't he? He might be playing out of position, but his spotting has been brilliant defensively so far.
That's Hill, who's put down. Less than 10 away. Hodgson with a short, flat one to a Lachlan, who flicks it back to Widdop, who searches that left side, where England have a few numbers here. Hall sucking in defenders in that little channel in which he ran. But they've still got tackles in the bag, a couple still to come. Williams, little step by him, but the bruising shoulders were waiting, and the ball's gone to ground forward, and it's a lost opportunity from England's point of view.
Isaac Luke with a hit, I think it was. Again, it's all about composure. You know, they need to organise. When they get into this position, the half-backs and the full-back need to communicate and organise. There are a bit of too many players running one man up, John.
Exactly right, but what tremendous defence from Farah. We've seen 2 technically outstanding tackles there from the New Zealander. But for me, Jonathan, that was just too easy. They've just let New Zealand off the hook when the pressure seemed to be building.
It was Dean Farah who produced that moment of absolute magic, wasn't it, in the semi-final a couple of years ago at Wembley, when the ball seemed to be going out of play and somehow he leapt and passed and flicked and did it all in one movement that set up a score for Tuivasa-Sheck.
I think England need to build pressure in this area of the field. You know, if it's not on, just put a ball in behind the in goal, get a repeat set and build the pressure. Make them tackle in their own 20-metre area.
Luke motoring in to dummy half. Down that right-hand side, the step is dangerous again.
5 movement! Son, be careful of foot. Ready, guys.
Lola looks a very, comfortable player on the ball.
Oh, there's a touch. It's play on because of an England touch. Back to 1, and New Zealand are going to risk their arm and test the defence again. Nightingale is held down. 10 away. Out of dummy half goes Bromwich.
It's a very comfortable ball in hand, the half-backs, aren't they? The young half-backs, very comfortable.
Here's Tuivasa-Sheck, who puts the pass on, and it's Sam Moa, who somehow brushed away the England resistance and touches down by the side of the sticks. It's a second New Zealand try. And what a powerful start they're making here.
Yeah, well, it's a coach's decision. Do you go for the charge down or not? England obviously have practiced that, but it didn't work for them that time. It came free to the New Zealanders. They retained composure. Tuivasa-Sheck, he attracts defenders because of his footwork. Then it was just a little offload there to Sam Moa to cross here at the KC, where he had some great games for the local club, Hull FC. Tremendous try.
That's the difference. Tuivasa-Sheck is known as a runner, but he steps in like a standoff there, takes the ball to the line, he attracts defenders, and there's a late run, from Sam Moa, and he just breezes under the post. I did think that the defence has been a little bit passive, and again they're standing off. You can't allow these players to come at you with a tricky feet and then the supporting runners.
Here's Isaac Luke to add the 2. He shouldn't miss this one, and he doesn't miss this one, and New Zealand now lead by 10 points to 0.
I think they were very fortunate on the ricochet, and he'd be very happy. The ricochet, they got back, but again the supporters there, and they offloaded. And I just find it again, look at this, you've got to get off the line very, very quickly. Unfortunately, Tuivasa-Sheck just runs at Lachlan. Farrell doesn't step in, and that's an easy hole for someone. It's a great finish, very, very good finish. But again, offloads when the opportunity came.
And John Keir, this is a very sluggish start by England here. Is it sluggish by England, or is that not paying due deference to the way New Zealand have started?
I don't think we're paying due deference to the New Zealand team, and I also think before the game as well, it was as if, they were just turning up as bit part players. This is a quality team, they're the world champions, and they're demonstrating exactly why at this moment in time.
I think Lola here and Hiko at the moment are just controlling the game. The fours are laying the platform. You've got Isaac Luke just stepping in. But I think it's a bit of both, Dave. I think that they've started, they're making good yardage, but I don't think the intensity is there from England at the start of a home test match series. They should be hungry and they should be smashing into these Kiwis, and I think it's the other way around at the moment.
Williams to Hall. Hall trying to get things going again here, the winger, and there's doing a decent job of it, trying to get a little bit of momentum in England and trying to get this crowd going as well, because they haven't got yet. And it's a good pass to Watkins from Hodgson. And Watkins showing some of his fine athleticism.
Good play, England.
40 yards away from the New Zealand line as a Lachlan driving it forward again.
Well, that wasn't about structure, Dave. That was just about playing quick and pushing up, and I'd like to see more of that.
This is Hill, who hammers in and gets it away to Williams. Williams with the inside ball for Whitehead. Whitehead going for the line with the offload. Bounces off England hands. Oh, it's play on! It's play on! Hodgson claims the try. Now, the critical factor here is, did it hit the legs of Hardaker or the arms of Hardaker?
Manages to knock the
if
ball
it's the
back.
legs, we're fine. If it's the arms,
he thinks he's knocked it back, Hardaker.
Let's hear from the video referees. We've got two video referees today. Chris Kendall and Richard Civil. Let's hear from them right now.
Clearly come off Hardaker's knee. Play on. Hodgson picks it up. I think the Kiwis stopped playing, and that was an easy try, but the right decision.
No video referee, no try, because the referee on the field thought it was a knock-on. So thank heavens for technology on that occasion, as Woodham puts the kick between the sticks, and England are right back in the game. England 6, New Zealand 10. All as a result of this.
A lovely pass, wasn't it, from George Williams to Elliot Whitehead, and then that's when he tried to get the offload away. Hardaker immediately signals to the ref, it's back to one. He was confident it came off his knee. Pictures showed that. Hodgson scores.
Well, you see the two experienced players there, the Kiwi players, just going to the referee. And as a schoolboy, any sport, you know, you play the referee's whistle. And that was it. They both turned, went to the referee.
It's fine.
Well, they've gone for the short restart here, but England have got it back. That's another little bit of fortune. Maybe the tide is changing a little here from black to white. England 6, New Zealand 10. Graham. And what does that do now for confidence, John Keir, in terms of those England players?
Well, it's bound to lift them, because you'd say the Kiwis had been the best team up to that point in time, but you sense that the England lads are now just getting at ease with the speed of the game, the intensity of the game, the occasion itself. And they really are building.
Yeah, they're certainly coming on the ball a lot harder now after that try.
Well, they had a warm-up test last week against France, which they absolutely devoured the French. It was no test at all. England, whereas New Zealand, pretty familiar team, pretty similar team to what we're watching today, was up against a lead side that gave them a real battle, and maybe that has just given the Kiwis a bit of an edge. Caught England cold. England having to ramp themselves up to this level of opposition again.
It's a good battle in the left, you know. I think Callum Watkins against Kahu is a very good, you know, matchup. Good battle.
New Zealand looking to bring it clear.
Win it.
Having suffered that little setback, it's Isaac Luke at dummy half, and Sam Moore will drive it on again towards that halfway line. Here's Luke, spinning away, kick away by Lolohea, Tui Lolohea. Trapped by Hardaker, collected by Hall. And England beyond the 20-metre mark again.
One movement! Yeah, boys, we're here. Wait!
Let's hear from Earl Crabtree, who's, I think, down on the touchline, watching carefully on. Earl, what have you made of this so far?
Well, to be honest, I've been studying the forward battle in the middle of the field, and it's quite obvious that the Kiwis, that's exactly where they're going, challenging the big boys from the England team. And when they've done that, they've looked really good, but offensively, England have too. But where they scare me is the line speed. The intensity is not quite there. We need to lift that a bit sharper.
Notice the Kiwis have just brought Ben Matalino on as well. Here's Bateman. Catches and is tackled.
I think a significant interchange is James Roby as well, because he'll certainly attempt to speed the ball up for the England side.
I think Josh Hodgson certainly took a bang. You know the quick little short restart. He went down the ground and caught, and he got injured in that incident.
Don't hold him in.
Well, let's hear from Tanya Arnold, who I think has got some information on that injury. Tanya.
Yeah, Josh Hodgson took a knock to his left shin, and he's been taken straight down to the dressing room to be assessed by the doctor.
Wait a minute.
Good, well, They know they can trust in Roby to do the minutes from here on in, because he regularly does 80 minutes for St Helens, doesn't he? So,
backwards,
and that's an offload that's gone backwards. They've got an England hand onto it, and it has given New Zealand another 6 tackles here.
Well, it's obviously, if we look at the New Zealand tip sheet game plan, call it what you wish, I've no doubt offloads will have featured pretty prominently.
Well, they're trying everything, aren't they? Anytime they can get an offload.
Matalino.
To move, James! Yeah, boys, wait here, please. Good.
New Zealand 30 yards away. Lola here with the ball back on the inside.
Great tackle. Great tackle, Roby. Any lazy defender knew he was through.
But New Zealand are threatening again here. Pushing at the line. Tapau, standing just to the left of the rock here, will take the pass and hammer it forward. But England defenders are drawn to him. New Zealand have one last chance, and they'll get more than one last chance, because that final tackle, Lachlan are judged to have stolen the ball.
Wait there, please.
Last tackle.
They've just done all that work defensively.
Hold on, mate. It's exactly the same as when I penalise them. End of.
Yep. And I think Mr. Thaler is exactly right there.
Yeah,
and New Zealand looking as if they're going to take the 2 points available, which it's really a gimme, isn't it, that one, underneath the post.
That is a killer, isn't it? That is a killer. Last tackle.
All right. Jason.
Yeah, Isaac Luke, the captain there, I'm sure. Yeah, but just saying, let's settle it down. England have come back at us, but we've got an opportunity of 2 points. We'll take it, regroup, field the kickoff.
It's interesting what Earl said, Dave, about, you know, the forwards taking it up the middle. I think they are an inexperienced halfback, Hicko and Lola. So I think the Kiwi forwards have taken it upon themselves. Right, we can't bring these 2 youngsters into the game and maybe being on the back foot. So they are laying the platform. And I have to say, they've stepped up to the plate.
Isaac Luke looking to give New Zealand a 6-point lead again here, and over it goes, and up the scoreboard rattles. It is England 6, New Zealand 12. Stephen Kearney looking down from his lofty eyrie. But the crowd here, I know Steve McNamara was saying in the week that he really wanted this England crowd to play its part today, and it ain't quite the top-thumping atmosphere that he would have hoped for so far.
I think the balloon's been deflated a little, hasn't it, with the first 20 minutes, and we got a bit excited after the England side, but once again, they've done the best of the Kiwis to deflate the atmosphere again, and they've succeeded.
When you go away from home, that's what you've got to try and do. Get a couple of early tries, get a couple of big hits in, and that's what they've done, and you know, the crowd has gone a little bit quiet. But this is where the crowd needs to get up now.
Well, that ball's gone to ground. The referee says play on. It's a little untidy. Isaac Luke is able to motor only a couple of yards further downfield. And Martin Tapau will drive it in again. He's signed this week with Manly, hasn't he? The Sea Eagles. A little bit of embarrassment about his contract being emailed to the wrong person, who let the news out on Twitter. So if they were hoping to keep it under wraps, they failed to do so. 6 tackle here. The kick from Lola is enterprising, but Hardacre's across safely to watch it out of play. Didn't need a touch.
Well done there by Zach Hardacre. I thought Joe Burgess earlier had done really well with dealing with a similar kick, but that's just the element of composure, and it gained him 20 metres straight away for the tap.
I thought I've been very impressed with Lola here so far, John. You know, they can't give him the space. You know, he's not going to go. Great hit.
James Graham sized up, but he's still got the ball away despite the attentions of Proctor, and here comes Bateman down the middle. So it might have been a big shoulder that stopped England momentarily, but they have snatched another 8 yards or so. This is Williams, who has the zip, given the opportunity. Cooper will drive it in.
Yeah, the front row of England, Dave, have been replaced, so let's see what that impact that can have upon the game.
Lachlan goes left, Widdup steps back on the inside, Lachlan spinning it for Williams. Williams searching on this right side, Callum Watkins ghosts past one, hands off another, flicks it back to Williams. Williams heads back towards the centre, but wrapped up by that black blanket of defence.
Back here, Ben! Good.
And this is the final tackle. It's Ferris. A little delicate flick towards Joe Burgess. Knock on in the end by England.
Yeah, I'd like to see Widdop and Williams, you know, on the last tackle, just take control. That's where they got to bring their expertise into it, whether it's directing a play or putting a little kick in or a high kick, but it's slightly unorganised there.
I'm with you, Jonathan. I'd have much preferred, once again, the testing for Sean Kenny-Dowell, putting the ball up there and saying, well, can you keep catching it when Ryan Hall's hunting you down?
Yeah.
Here's Nightingale, the winger, who's haunted England many a time over the last few years, hasn't he? Oh, and that's it's a penalty for England, because Nightingale, with all his experience, didn't find his feet to play the ball. So England get a bonus here. Is this fair enough?
It's on all fours. All fours, you can't just play the ball like that.
Well, on all fours, the referee says.
I think that's an unlucky call.
I agree with you.
He wasn't on the ground. You know, he played the ball.
No, it looked perfectly legal to me, and I'm.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, Rich. Go. Thanks, mate.
So England with a platform, led by Tom Burgess. Who we saw score a try of an extraordinary strength against the French last week. Roby out of dummy half. Williams to Widdop. Widdop back to Harlaker, who's juggled and lost it. There were a couple of knock-ons in there. New Zealand will get the handover.
Early in the tackle count, you have to build the pressure.
Well, I think some people may well see this as poetic justice, but there's certainly plenty of pressure from the edge defence from New Zealand. They're coming up and in, and they're really putting the ball receiver under pressure. And when it's Farley who's coming in, you'd expect a whack from what we've seen earlier in the game.
He doesn't hold back, does he? Farley, I have to say. He comes in looking for the hit, and he hasn't missed so far.
We want it quick, but not that quick. Wait there, please, guys. Stay on, boys. Okay, let's bind.
So a Kiwi feed here, very close to their own line. England's defence looking to step it up if they can. The Kiwis will be looking for those offloads even here.
What move?
To try to break things down.
This day might be a time for New Zealand to be a little more conservative, though, and try to get some field position back, because they've been camped in their own half for the last few minutes since they kicked that penalty.
To Powell. Just plundering down this left-hand side.
Ready, boys, wait.
Cooper, who came running across very quickly there to join in that three-man defensive effort. Nightingale again, who's getting really involved at this end of the ground.
Yeah, I think they've been told, John, right, keep up the jumper this time.
Penalty, hanging on too long.
Again, they cannot do that. You know, again, I think that was on the fourth tackle, I think. They've defended very, very well. They have returned the ball and maybe got into the Kiwis' half. And then they just get messy in a tackle. It's Loughlin and I think it's Farrell. Just now they're going to put themselves under pressure.
Well, it's just a piggyback, isn't it? It's just easy for them. They virtually had a full set. They get a penalty, and they're now starting a second set on the halfway line.
Here comes Harris. You'd have to say from Steve McNamara's point of view that this has been a disappointing performance by England so far in the opening 31 minutes of the game.
I think it's early yet, Dave. You know, I think.
Well, I was going to say the fact that they're only trailing by 12 points to 6 will be some consolation.
We are two. Wait.
There is a silver lining there.
They're still very much in the game at England at the moment. Here comes Luke. Looks one way, passes the other. To Powell.
One thing is, they do look a lot more threatening when they are attacking.
Isaac Luke again. Across the line to Ivasa Shek, flicking it over. Hall's by himself and had to do the job of two men there to make sure the overlap wasn't used.
Great skill, though, was it, from Ivasa Shek? We've seen his footwork. Now we've seen his offload. Tremendous.
Out it comes to Isaac Luke with a bicycle kick and the inside pass for Tohu Harris, who offloads again. England's defence being tested here, but they are dealing with it just at the moment. Picker to his feet and Luke away with a very good kick to the in-goal area that forces Roby to defuse.
And that's the difference so far. That is the difference so far, whether it's one of the half-backs or the hooker is in. As Robbie said before the game, Ivasa Shek, I tell you what, he is a player you have to watch all the time. His quick feet, his offloading, he is got great pace about him as well.
He's the dynamo of rugby league, Jonathan. He is. He's a magician.
Good one, John. I was thinking, I think where you go with this.
It's another line he's been working on.
Oh, I tell you what, he's been Googling all day. He's been Googling all day.
Sat there, saw steam coming out of his ears. We thought it was just counting up the caps that he was doing, but he was clearly coming up with lines to describe Roger Tuivasa-Sheck as well. So the drop tickles the touchline, but doesn't quite get there. So New Zealand set themselves for a very decent position here. 5 tackles to have a go at this England line. Bromwich in and down. England resetting themselves in defence. Luke collects and goes left. Back to Tuivasa-Sheck, who doesn't need to step, just went through the gap, offloads, and Kahu on debut might have a try here. Might have a try.
Make sure there's no obstruction, please.
They're looking for the obstruction.
Make sure there's no obstruction.
Dynamo's conjured up a trick.
Okay, and if this is not an obstruction, it's a third New Zealand try. Let's hear from the video referee again.
Looking for obstruction here. 2 lead runners. Can we see that from behind, please? So we've got 2 lead runners here. George Williams can't get across. Clear obstruction. No try, penalty to England.
Well, they're going to be disappointed when they look round at that big screen, because they're pretty sure they've got to try. Look at that reaction.
That is a
Look at that reaction.
That is a nonsensical decision. So what are you going to do then? You're going to drop on the floor and get out the way of the defender. That's just a ludicrous decision, John. You know, this game now...
You have to disappear. We're on about magicians. I think you have to disappear.
The only bloke which should disappear now is the TMO. You know, the video.
But really, he needed to run on the inside shoulder. He did run on the outside shoulder. But I think it's the depth that Tuivasa-Sheck takes it. And he's run to the outside shoulder, George Williams. They feel it's impeded him. But it was well deep, was Tuivasa-Sheck, as he received that. So that's the other factor that I feel they needed to consider.
He had time to go inside or outside then a defensive line. He got his angles wrong. He didn't get in the way. I think New Zealand are very unfortunate for not that try to be given.
Well, the game is all about talking points. And there's another one for you on the red button a little later, Jonathan. You're wondering what you're going to be talking about. That's one of the things you'll be talking about on our red button forum after this game, and our coverage here is finished. Here comes a chance for Ferris! Brett Ferris underneath the sticks. No doubts about that one. At one end, England get a lucky let-off. At the other, they take advantage. Brett Ferris, the scorer. They could be level again here in just a moment.
They will be level. That's a 12-point turnaround, isn't it? That decision is now a 12-point turnaround. They do it very well. They hold the runners, but they just switch off. I think it's Hiku, isn't it, who drifts across.
It's tremendous work, isn't it? With up initially, then George Williams was right to the line, and it just interests Harris. And because Harris then bites in at him, there's a lovely soft pass to Ferris, who saunters over virtually underneath the post for a really well-worked try. But I'm with you, Jonathan. That is a 12-point turnaround.
I think that was a great angle by Ferris, though. I think Hiku was ball-watching a little bit. He went wide. And then when Ferris came from an out to in, a lovely, lovely angle.
So Gareth Widdop to give us a situation that we haven't had since the 6th minute of the game. All square. Poppy steps. Over it goes. It is all square. 12 points apiece. And England not just clinging on here, they are at parity.
Well, you asked Dave, didn't you? Would Steve McNamara be happy? He'll certainly be happy with that. It's a peach of a pass there. It really is the money ball there from Williams to Ferris. And a very good try, great line, great timing and angle of the line from the second rower there. But Steve McNamara will be absolutely delighted, because he'll feel that they've underperformed, but they're level on the scoreboard.
And I know coaches like to talk about performances, but fans are only bothered about the win-lose column. So there'll be a lot happier England fans in the KC Stadium right now than there was, what, about 3 minutes ago, when it looked as though England were going 2 scores behind. How does this fuel confidence? O'Loughlin. 3 tackles gone, England clawing their way up. And Rugby's out of dummy half, that's what he's good at. Hardacre taking over that dummy half role, and he's seen a bit of a gap to go into. And Proctor just got across to drag him down.
That's it, just play quick and push.
Farrell stepping in, foul for the line, just had his ankles taken away.
That's great play though by halfbacks, Widdop and Williams, just taking the ball to the line. Good support play, and they're very, very, very unlucky. Great angle, superb tackle to thwart Farrell.
England are finishing the half on top here, and the crowd are finding their voice. Look how close that was. Tuivasa-Sheck can run with the ball in his hands. He's just shown he can make crucial tackles.
Pretty good tackle, wasn't it, as well? It really was. But some of these bigger New Zealand forwards now are being left on the ground, and that's what's letting your Robies and your Hardacres pick up from dummy half and take off. And that's what England need to do more of.
Cody Nikorima is on the field as well, the number 14. Adds a bit of zip. And
a good play by the English halfbacks. Although Widdop put Ferris in, and then Williams put Liam Farrell in, would nearly come up with a second try.
6 tackle coming up, so Isaac Luke will put the kick downfield. It's taken cleanly by Hardacre. Hall immediately in position. Burgess came across.
Was that obstruction? You never know these days. I don't know where I am with it.
Hardacre looking to the right. Bateman now will bring it forward. He's got a bit of real tenacity about him, hasn't he, John Bateman? Might lack the subtle skills of this fella, Callum Watkins, in the other centre's position. But what he lacks for the subtlety, he certainly makes up for in sheer determination. Roby out of dummy half. Hardacre's involved again. Burgess in a cul-de-sac. Nowhere to go. Hardacre again. O'Loughlin. You've got numbers over on that left-hand side. Widdop extricates himself from the first tackle and then puts a kick downfield. That's intelligent play. Finds touch. Puts New Zealand on the back foot again.
Yeah, they've been influential the last 10 minutes. Widdop and Williams, and that's what this man will be wanting from them.
I think England can feel very confident after this, Dave. I really do, and Jonathan, because you know, they were rocking, they fought their way back in, they're finishing the stronger, and I'm certain they'll feel that they can play better in the second half than they have in the first.
We'll see better halves in this 3-match series, won't we? I don't think it's been a classic first half here by any stretch of the imagination. But
you've taken both sides have taken their opportunities.
His opportunity was taken, but who was cruelly robbed of that score. And New Zealand having to dig from deep again. Nikorima out of dummy half. Matalino hitting it forward, and a great offload again. Keeps them running, keeps them going, keeps them rolling. And England have to respond likewise in defence.
Good.
Shuttled left. He's trying to get the arms free out of the tackle, but he can't do so. Ferris does well.
Make way here.
Young Cody Nikorima with the Brisbane Broncos flies out of dummy half again, and to his right is Tapau.
5 away!
Who's 15 yards away with 1 tackle to go. Nikorima. This is Lola here, taken on by Proctor, but not too far. England's defence holds up well.
Half-time.
And Oates done it.
Well, the hooter does sound. So 40 minutes are on. It's been scrappy at times. England have had some good fortune, the benefit of maybe 1 or 2 refereeing decisions, but they are still in the game without any shadow of a doubt at 12 points apiece. New Zealand, I'm sure, will be asking a few questions of themselves and of others at half-time. But let's hear from James Graham now, who's with Tanya Arnold.
James, do you feel a little fortunate to be tied at half-time?
I don't know about that. You know, both teams are working hard, and yeah, obviously the decision went in our favour, and you know, we've managed to come up with the try at the other end. But this is the type of game we expected, and looking forward to the second half now.
You need to tie up those offloads from them.
Yeah, I think so. Something we spoke about in the week, and we probably need to just work that second longer just to stop them getting that late offload. And I think it'll stand us in good stead for the second half.
Cheers, Greg.
Cheers, thanks.
James Graham going into the dressing room for the half-time team talk. England 12, New Zealand 12 at half-time. And when you take a look at some of those match stats, it's fairly even. When you that, not much in possession. England have had a little bit more. England have had a little bit more territory. Only one more offload for England compared to New Zealand, and the sack completion is only a difference of 3% as well. And yet at times, Brian Noble, it's felt that England have played second fiddle.
Well, I think they started the game slowly, particularly defensively in their kicking game. I thought there was a lack of communication between players, and I think we'll highlight that in some of the tries that were conceded by England. But I think they kicked not as well as they wanted to do at the start of the game. I thought their kicks lacked an aim, lacked a purpose, and lacked a determined chase. And I think it took them a while to get into the game. I think they grew into the game and they got more confident and more confident.
So two poor kicks, really. I thought one thing England came up with, I think they're trying to kick away from Tuivasa-Sheck, which is sensible, as we'll see. Robbie's picked some things out, but a couple of poor kicks where, you know, didn't get the right field position nor the right end result from the kick. And what that leads into is field position and pressure upon this England side. And I think you give the Kiwis broken field and give them the ability to have the ball in the right parts of the field, they create opportunities. And off the back of this, we see Harris try. Fantastic piece of play. Look, all forwards in rugby league need to be able to pass the ball. He isolates Chris Hill, and then we get big Sam Moa running at the inside shoulder of Elliot Whitehead, which makes Elliot Whitehead become interested. At this point, George Williams has got a decision to make. He decides to come in to make the tackle, and that's the gap in which Tohu Harris runs into. Callum Watkins can't come in to make that tackle, and that's a try, but that came off the back of building pressure through kicks. But a fantastic piece of play. Blair, Harris, beautiful line and try from New Zealand.
But when you're analysing that, you are talking literally a matter of metres, aren't you? Or the odd yard.
You're talking a matter of millimetres, you're talking a matter of body weight. As soon as your body weight goes onto a certain foot, you're done, you're defended, you're out. We're talking milliseconds also.
That play is designed to do what it did. It's designed to make a defender turn in and become interested enough to commit himself to make a tackle. Elliot Whitehead did that. George Williams followed him. Callum Watkins didn't follow him in, and that's the reason why the try was scored.
That's probably why I'm talking about the communication. They're a new team together. Whatever we say, it's at the end of a long season, and there are new combinations in there. And to make your defence fluid, Robbie, I think, was complaining about the line speed not going forward in our conversations during the half, and that comes with confidence and speaking to each other and nominating which players you've got and having that level of communication.
Let's go through the second try then for New Zealand.
Yeah, it came off a break. Charged down on play 5, and really this was a bit of fortune, wasn't it? I felt you know, kick charge down, good pressure from Chris Hill, but it created an opportunity. Hiku came up with the ball, and this is where New Zealand are dangerous. Once they get field position and get possession in the England half, they look dangerous.
And it's on the goal line that we see some communication problems again, because I think it's Sean O'Loughlin here that bites in on the ball carrier. If he does that, then we've highlighted Liam Farrell as well, has to come in and take Sam Moa. So between the three of them, I think it's Hodgson, O'Loughlin and Liam Farrell. The Sam Moa picks his hole, which he's allowed to do. He's a great runner and incredibly hard to stop. But a bit of decision making there and a nomination of who's actually going to pick out Sam Moa.
Earl Crabtree made a point during commentary as well, Robbie, and if you like this, that the Kiwi forwards have said, right, we are going to make sure there is a platform for our inexperienced halfbacks to work with.
And they've done exactly that as well, especially in the opening, probably 20 to 30 minutes. Bromwich is fantastic. Adam Blair punching holes in the England defence, and I think England had to get up to speed with it, which they did, which is why you saw them finish the stronger out of the two teams in the back end of the half. But New Zealand needed to do that if they were going to give Lolohair and Peter Hiku time and space on the ball.
I think Robbie's right. England took time to get up to test match intensity. New Zealand were at test match intensity from the first few minutes, weren't they?
Yeah.
And it took England the time, but they got there, didn't they? And they scored some points.
And when we look at the England tries, then have they needed a little bit of luck, although be it the right decision?
This shape here for England is going to be a consistent feature of the second half. Big men able to pass the ball. You've got Hill, O'Loughlin and Graham. But not only this, off the back of passing the ball, I think England need to challenge New Zealand back on the inside. You get tired, lazier defenders with guys who are overworking. Elliot Whitehead gets some space, an offload. England play on, which you always should do. Josh Hodgson's the man who reacts and he scores a try. And a moment of luck, but
I think it's a half-back's dream here to get defenders like Harris going sideways and Sam Moore on his inside, who can't make that space up. A back row and worth his salt is going to come back on an inside line against that kind of defence. And a half-back's dream is to get defenders going sideways so they can pick the bones and the holes out of that.
That space is a bit of a concern for me as a New Zealander. Looking at Tohu Harris, around him Pita Hiku. Pita Hiku is an outside back. You know, he's used to defending on the edge, not in the middle of the park. And I think there's a little bit of disjoint between both him and Tohu Harris.
Roger Tuivasa-Sheck then. John said that in the way England are kicking, they're trying to avoid kicking the ball to him. James Graham said they need to work on stopping the offloads.
Yeah, that's definitely right. I think that's why we are seeing an unnatural kicking game from England. And this is the reason why, because every single time Tuivasa-Sheck runs with the ball, he asks questions of the defence. Generally, the first defender is missing him, and that's because he can promote the ball. You've got to get to him in numbers, and he draws players to him. And then I think that's why you saw O'Loughlin tie in on him, and he was able to promote the ball to Sam Moore when he scored that second try.
Yeah, no try here. Unfortunate. I think we could talk about whether it was a try or not. The fact is that off the back of this, Tuivasa-Sheck shows his ability not only to run the ball, but use skill to really deceive Callum Watkins, and I thought that was unlucky not to be a try. Me and Brian Noble disagree.
You thought that should have been a try, did you?
I thought Callum Watkins had the opportunity to make the tackle and stop it. He chose not to.
If he comes up and in, but he's relying on George Williams to make that play on his inside shoulder, because there are two defenders on the outside. And I think, in fairness, the referee, the video referee's got that right, because George Williams is impeded. Adam Blair, I think it is on the outside shoulder, or Harris is on the outside shoulder of Williams, which in theory stops him getting across to make that tackle.
The rule goes you either have to pull up short of the line or you've got to go all the way through the line so the defender isn't impeded.
I make a point here. If Callum Watkins attempted to make that tackle and misses it and it's a try, it's given as a try. And we're not even talking about George Williams being involved.
Can I just ask you one more question about Tuivasa-Sheck? You three have all played the game. I just enjoy watching it, right? I understand how you're meant to stop offloads, but when a bloke's popping out from here and up here and all of that, how on earth do you stop that?
The first thing is his footwork. He gives himself the ability to make an uncomfortable defender, you know, get into a wrong position, and that is he's strong. His center of gravity is really low, and he pushes through and is able to promote the ball. He holds the ball like that with the thumb open. It means he can get the ball out all over the place. And
there's not many players in world rugby who can change direction and not lose speed. He's one of those, and that's why he's dangerous.
As you can see from my impression there of trying to channel Tuivasa-Sheck, that's why I've never played rugby league. Right, let's look at it was a massive swing, because as soon as that was disallowed, they went down the other end of England.
Yeah, and that's a huge turning point in the game potentially. But England play through some regular shape. Williams gets the ball, drives to the next hole. Ferris cuts a beautiful line. But again, we look at Tohu Harris and Pita Hiku. And I think this shows here, Hiku takes one step out, now, bang. At that point, Ferris punches his inside shoulder and scores the try. This play is designed again to isolate that third-in defender, which is Pita Hiku, who Robbie said is not used to defending in that
It's
position.
an uncomfortable place to be in. You're watching all the England players all folding around. There's 3 players coming around. You've got to make a decision. The reality is you've got to make it on the guy who's leading in front of you. And Pita Hiku just caught out there, slides out just off the man. Tohu Harris deals with the halfback in front of him, George Williams, and that's where Brett Ferris comes through between the two of them.
Great line. I was just about to say, you've got to give Brett Ferris some credit there, because his timing and his in-outline, if you like, to go through the hole, exceptional.
Okay, thank you. We are now going to go from Hull to Kilimanjaro, which is not a line you get to say very often, because a group of former players and rugby league supporters have been to climb the African mountain in aid of the Steve Prescott Foundation. Not only did they climb it, but they played a game at the top of it as well. The BBC's Becky Meehan, who herself is a huge rugby league fan, was part of the party.
Rugby league players and supporters of the Steve Prescott Foundation head up Kilimanjaro to attempt the highest ever game in honour of the St Helens and Hull player who died 2 years ago.
It's not easy, but the opportunity to test ourselves, knowing what Steve was like, because for the last 7 or 8 years of his life, he pushed his body to the limits. So, you know, it's just a shame knowing that he wanted to do this, that he can't be here, because he would be leading the pack.
I never thought it would be like this. I just thought it would be tough.
and I'm used to tough things. I like tough things, but I'm all over the place, and I'm doing my best not to cry now. So yeah.
As soon as you're a bit down, think of someone you've lost, and that'll spur you on. And if you can't think of anything else, just have a think of Steve Prescott. What that man achieved, we don't even come close to.
Finally, Gilman's Point. On the rim of the crater of Kilimanjaro, 5,685 metres above sea level and just below the summit.
Come on, everybody! Well done, look at that!
For Adrian Morley, this achievement marks the end of a 20-year playing career.
With that high up now, the air is so thin, everything's very laboured and it's very hard to get your breath. But we got through it, we managed to get there, and at the end it was quite emotional. At the end there was people really pleased to have made it. There was a few tears there and a few hugs. Really pleased everyone got through it.
After a night in the crater of Kilimanjaro, we're getting ready for the match.
We'll kick that way. Kick that way, all right.
A full, measured, marked-out pitch with inflatable posts in a bid for the world record for the highest ever game of rugby league.
Freezing cold, and then to add to that, there's sickening altitude sickness. But apart from that, we're all okay. This is great though, isn't it? When would we ever get the chance to do this again?
Job done. And so, for the last push to the summit, we've made it. Uhuru Peak, the highest point in Africa.
It's been some dark times. It's definitely the hardest thing I've ever done.
I pride myself on being a fit, physical lad, but the altitude really did play havoc with me. And the guide said, we're going to send you down on a stretcher, which, being a proud male, I didn't want to, and I tried walking, and he just said, no, you're no good.
Getting to the top was easily the toughest thing I've ever done. My body's a mess, but my heart is full, and my spirit is full, and I feel very enriched for the experience.
Say, sensational effort by all involved, and a sensational effort as well by the rugby league community who came together and raised over £100,000 for the Steve Prescott Foundation in sponsoring everybody who did that trip. Although you do have to fear for the local guides who had to wheel Adrian Morley down in a wheelbarrow. That must have taken a lot easier to wheel down than up, I would have thought.
Did you notice there was about 18 of them? All crowded around. He's that big, he's that heavy.
Back to this game when the teams are coming out, which they will do surely. You said that the second half will be all about the offloads.
Well, because I think England troubled New Zealand when they started playing with a little bit of offload and a little bit more ball movement. Now, there's an old coaching adage for our viewers is what you're good at is difficult to handle. So I think England will get New Zealand at their own game. I think if New Zealand continue to offload at will, they'll continue to trouble England up to defend in their own line. Two things for me: kick well, better England, and play a little bit more expansive.
You'd imagine England would finish stronger. That'd be my instinct with the tough games they played, the grand finalists, etc. I'd expect England to finish stronger, but that's only if they control the ball, they control Tuivasa Sheck and Isaac Luke, who are huge players in this game.
Quick Kiwi word.
Well, to be honest, I think England are a little more fluid than New Zealand now, but I think that New Zealand now have had a little bit more game time. There's 1.5 games under their belt. You see them the combinations start to really come together now.
You can get in touch with us, hashtag BBCRL. We're going to do a forum on the red button at full time, and that is where we will discuss the Sam Burgess situation. There simply wasn't enough time during half-time to discuss the Sam Burgess situation. Hashtag BBCRL. Jonathan Davis, John Keir will join John and Brian and Robbie to talk about that. But now enjoy the second 45 minutes with Jonathan Davis, with the wordsmith John Keir and Dave Woods.
He likes that, Chappers. Thank you very much. Well, this is a stadium that England have liked over the years as well, especially against New Zealand. Their last win against New Zealand was here in 2011, 28-6 winners that day. Their biggest ever win, or at least Great Britain's biggest ever win before it was restyled England in rugby league terms against New Zealand, was here as well back in 2007, 44-0 that day. It's a very different New Zealand team that England are up against. They have grown and grown in stature over the last few years to the point where they now are at the top of the rugby league table. They are the preeminent rugby league nation, New Zealand, dispossessing Australia of that title over the last year or so. But England are hanging on in there. Not the prettiest of first halves, not the most effective of performances by England in that first half. But at 12-12, John Keir, Steve McNamara ain't going to be complaining about that situation, the scoreline at least.
He'll be delighted, and he'll certainly be delighted with this first set as well, where England have got the Kiwis on the back foot, and that's allowing George Williams to have a little look at them. And
he's in, he's out, he's away.
And look where they're playing the ball, Dave, on tackle 5. That's a great set from the first kick-off for England.
O'Loughlin down this left-hand side puts a kick in. It takes a bit of deflection, but it's hung on to by Dean Farre. And New Zealand have it back, but only 5 from their own line. Jonathan
I'd like to see Williams taking the ball to the line. That's what he's done for Wigan all year. You know, he's a tremendous, runner. And then when he does that, on the last tackle, you expect your partner or the hooker to put the kick in.
Fantastic faith that Sean Wayne has put him in as well, hasn't he? The Wigan coach, George Williams, there he is. He had 1 or 2 moments of inconsistency earlier in the year, but Sean Wayne, the Wigan coach, said, I'm going to stick with him, I have faith in him, and that faith has been repaid.
The experience of this year, doing that has benefited him. He'd never have thought he'd be in this position at the start of the season, but, testimony, he's worked extremely hard.
Here comes the kick from Hiku. It's taken on the full by Hall. That's an advantage for England. An extra yard or 2 gobbled up instantly. And they start close-ish to the halfway line. Maybe 3 tackles away. Bateman on the second will take it a little closer. Roby rolling up at dummy half. Hodgson off injured in the first half, of course. Cooper, these days of St George Illawarra, is put down inside Kiwi territory. This is Burgess, Tom Burgess. What an offload from him as well. Widdop's joining in the dots. Across the line it comes to Bateman. And Bateman is wrapped up and put down. But England again advancing with menace. O'Loughlin to Burgess. Burgess pushing a couple of way and still going. It's in the family. And Burgess is dragged down only 5 yards out. 6 tackle. Widdop went left. Then comes back towards the middle, and he is held up short, but not a bad place to hand over the ball after 6
I thought
seconds.
He was in again. It's Williams again. You see a little show and go. I thought he was over.
Been a great start. A great start for England. This really has. They started very brightly with a load of intent, and I've been particularly impressed with the start from Tom Burgess.
Yeah, much better start to the second half than the first half from England's point of view. That's Tanya Arnold down on the touchline. I believe you've got news for us.
Yeah, Steve McNamara has asked his team to start the second half the way they finished the first, tighten up the defence and keep our line, sharpen up the passing and have men in support, but he's also asked them to speed up generally across the game. New Zealand, a much simpler message really. He was happy with the attack, Stephen Kearney, but he says we need to toughen up in defence.
A little bit of pressure telling there. Isaac looked normally so good from dummy half and causing a threat, but maybe losing loose carry from Isaac Luke.
That's a good tackle. Very good tackle, Callum Watkins.
Yeah, really challenged that carry, didn't he, Watkins, and he's earned his team a scrum 40 metres away from the New Zealand line.
Nice time, mate. Let's keep it going. Let's go to it, George. Okay, let's keep the focus, guys. It's nice and tight.
I'd like to see him trying to isolate him one-on-one with his opposite number. He's such a brilliant runner, Callum Watkins.
Whoa, let's go, guys. Whoa.
At some stage, Jonathan, it will happen. And when it happens, we'll all get excited.
Go on, heads in. Here we go.
We're off to the Olympic Stadium next Saturday, of course. You can see it on BBC One, and then a week after to Wigan's DW Stadium for what might be a decider, who knows. 3 test series, not had one of those for a couple of years now. Here comes Cooper, who can't go forward, so sticks it in reverse and gains another 5 yards or so. And then he's dragged back unfairly, and the referee says penalty against Matalino. And Isaac Luke.
Yeah,
go for goal, yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Would you?
I would, yeah.
Yes.
Personally, you got, you're 12 all in a test match.
Get your nose in front.
Yeah, get your nose in front. They haven't been in front.
Well, it's not often in a rugby league game that the cheer goes up because they elect to kick a penalty, but I think the England fans recognise the situation here.
Yeah, well, it'll be the first time only that England go ahead, should Widdop be successful. And it puts seeds of doubt into the New Zealand team. And it's pretty good work, wasn't it, from Cooper there, really asking questions with his aggression and with his desire within that collision. And that's what's earned this penalty. And it's up to Gareth Widdop to convert it into 2 points.
Well, who would have thought when we were waiting for the video referee decision on Jordan Kahu's, in inverted commas, try, that 5 minutes into the second half, England would have a chance to take the lead in this test match. Here comes Widdop, directly in front of the sticks, and take the lead is exactly what England do. 14 points to 12. For the very first time tonight, noses ahead. Just.
Well, Coach Steve McNamara's request has been answered by the England team. The first 5 minutes after half-time has certainly been in England's favour. And that's why they've gone ahead on the scoreboard. Maintain it. That will be the request now.
So back it comes in the shape of a Burgess. I was going to say one of the smaller varieties, but he's not that much smaller than Sam, is he?
I don't think he is.
I don't think they do small in the Burgess family, do they? Of course, twin brother George not in this series because of injury. Roby out of dummy half, running straight and testing them.
Move to it! Back here. Ready.
It's Farrell out of dummy half, the Wigan back rower who's had an outstanding season, an excellent season in that position for Wigan.
I think it's a far better start to the second half than the first half. Running with purpose, you know, the kicking game is a lot better.
That's a clever kick, isn't it, from Roby?
So got Nightingale flying back here. He's hoping it goes out of play. It does, but it was only misjudged by a minuscule there by Roby. And they're going to take the tap here. They've got to wait. And here it comes. Earl Crabtree. What are you making of this so far?
I think this, for me, is a different England team. A different team has stepped out on the field for the second half. The intensity has already lifted up, and they need to stop these offloads. Or still, it's great play again by New Zealand. But England, if they're going to do anything, need to remain intense and get off the line in the faces. It's a great start to the second half.
Wait here, wait here. No,
plenty of encouragement from an English point of view. But New Zealand will have a response. We know that.
Stand, Mick!
Okay, from dummy half, looking to his left to find Harris, a willing runner and carrier of the ball. Isaac look again, coming right this time to Pau, running it in. His Twitter handle includes the name Kapow, which sums up his playing style. Right it comes to Lolohea, back to Tuivasa-Sheck, who throws out a raggedish pass that went backwards. The pass from Kenny Dowell to Watfare looked to go forwards.
It
And
did.
the referee, I think, has agreed on that in the end. No, it's a handover.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. You can see from his hand movement, it's an American football pass, that one.
Move, Isaac! Line here, wait here.
Roby.
Two wait here. Good.
He's in at dummy half. Here's Burgess again.
Is that two? Move! Wait here, play on.
Roby. Lachlan. Hard and true again.
Move, Isaac!
Just getting England going forward. Roby to Williams, who's had a look at the touchline, and he's going to try and skid that ball out there. It's not a 40-20, but it is still an excellent kick because the Kiwis will have to start 10 yards from their own line.
That's a perfect kick, in all honesty. It's away from Tuivasa-Sheck, so the threat's dealt with there. Rolls it over the sideline. England can then walk to the scrum. They can get a defensive line set, and they can get off the line and attempt to wallop the Kiwis.
Yeah, try and force the error. That's what they need to play, is it, in this area. I think they've really dominated the 90 minutes so far. The forwards have taken the ball up. The kick has been good, and there's been more control from the halfbacks.
Here we go.
There is an aching familiarity about this situation, though, isn't there, from England's point of view? I think England fans will just be developing a little knot in the stomach. So far, so good. 10 minutes of second half played, but World Cup semi-final 2 years ago, Four Nations match 1 year ago.
To movement!
But
as promised.
There's not much difference between these two sides. There hasn't been, and you know they've just got it over the line. The Kiwis on the last few occasions.
Come on,
Luke picks up and looks to the right-hand side, and the Kiwis are rolling forward again here.
Move!
And he's a young fella to watch out for, Siosia Tokahayo, who's had a stellar season with the Sydney Roosters. Steve McNamara, the syndicate, to know about him, but what about Lolohea, who just lost the ball? Well, no excuse for that.
No, I'll be very disappointed with that, and he understands that, put his hands up. It's a great offload.
Yeah, boys.
I just think his right knee came in touch with the ball there as he carries it. So he's carrying the ball, he's thinking about what his options are. His knee hits the ball, and it just lets England off the hook. England just need to maintain this pressure. March them downfield, put them in the corner, and build pressure.
Well, I think that was a scrum. I don't think either front row actually were in contact with each other when that ball went in, but who cares? It's come out again. So England carry on. Roby to Hall. Another flat one there as Hall rolls it forward again. Like having a seventh forward on the field. Ferris, try scorer in that first half.
Back here, Sam. Wait here, wait. Good.
Roby, Burgess. Tom Burgess down the middle, and every time he takes on that line, he really tests them, and to the point where Sam Moa gives the penalty away. Now, do they go for 2 from here?
Yep.
I wouldn't this time.
Wouldn't you?
No, this time I'll put it in the corner.
I think.
And let's have a go for 4.
I think the games are so close to these two sides. Any points you have, I think I would take them.
Slight question mark about New Zealand's goal-kicking game. So 4 points might be valuable, but an 8-point lead would be even more valuable if England can convert this next 5 tackles into a try.
Go.
What a platform. Roby to his left. Cooper, Widdop, and now Hardacre. Hardacre trying to create Fare's shoulder there.
There he is again. Yeah, come on, if you're going to come down my channel, I am going to smash you.
Yeah. Farrell looking left. Bateman just trying to get over through brute force, but it is brute force that does win out. But in fact, from a defensive point of view, he's tackled out of play. And it'll be head and feed for New Zealand and an opportunity lost for England.
Yeah, it's tremendous work, isn't it, from Fare? I mean, you've got to write a note to yourself, haven't you? Don't run near where he is.
But what it is, he's very clever. You know, he comes up out of the line very quickly. He cuts off the pass. There's no option, and then he smashes you.
Yeah, he'll have sore shoulders in the morning, won't he? He really will. But that's, you know, I felt they should have gone for the tap, build the pressure, perhaps. When you see the outcome, it ought to have been better do what you said, Jonathan.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing, John, I tell you.
It's all ifs and buts, isn't it? What's the old saying? If ifs and buts were chips and puts, we'd all be Gary Player. Well, in hindsight, you'd have made so many different decisions. New Zealand rolling it forward again. But England's defensive duty here is to keep them pinned as deep inside their own half as possible. This is Jesse Bromwich. He's another who can lay claim to being arguably the best prop forward operating in the world at the moment. Tohu Harris takes it on with some muscularity again. They're creeping towards the halfway line. Samoa, who doesn't creep anywhere. Ball thrown out to loose pass again that might go out of play and does. Kenny Dowell can't keep it in. England get the ball back from the scrum, all things being equal, inside New Zealand's territory again.
Well, again, you know, they're just a little bit loose, and England have just got to take it up on that, keep the ball, you know, and keep playing in the right areas as they have been doing it. I think they find it difficult for the yardage. In the first half, I thought the New Zealand forwards are making easy yardage and laying the platform for the halfbacks. Now it's a lot tougher for them, and that's due to the English defence.
Yeah, the errors there that New Zealand have come up with, it's given England the field position, and they just need to maintain this.
Well, they'll be growing in confidence, won't they? It's not been a fantastic game so far. It certainly hasn't, but it's been intriguing.
It's been a good test match, David. It's been a very good test match, and it'll get even better.
Quick hands, and suddenly England through Burgess. Joe Burgess rolling down that right-hand side. Great slick play out wide. Roby brings it back middle. Williams, Widdop has runners here, searching past the Hall, who steps inside. Kenny Dowell, and Hall's on his way. Guess who planted the shoulder? Fare again. Couple of tackles still to go though from England. This is Graham straightening things up, making this next play one with more options for England. Right or left? Roby goes left. Widdop. Here comes Farrell. Feigns the inside ball. Dummy not bought.
I think Widdop's in position.
Roby, Bateman, Hall with the kick. Oh, is that accidental offside? Yes, it is. It hits a New Zealand leg and picked up by a man in front of him. Well, the referee's actually given a penalty for a real offside, not just an accidental offside.
They've kicked the ball, he's touched your man, and a man in front has picked the ball up, he's offside.
Well, I would have thought that was accidental and therefore head and feet to England, but he's given the penalty.
I think it's a reaction, really, isn't it, from the New Zealand player? When the ball's kicked there, it's a scruffy end, it comes off then. I mean, it's in your DNA to pick a ball like that, wouldn't it?
You know, they've got. Well, the bounce is going England's way now, and they've got to make the most of opportunities. They've got to try and get some points on the board from this pressure.
Just a note here, but I think we've got an Australian referee refereeing the next game. Just a note. Here comes Roby. Out it goes to Widdop. Widdop puts it back to Williams. Williams now. England coming on in numbers. Williams tries to take them on with a bit of stardust, but didn't quite come off. Burgess. Oh, and it was red and almost intercepted.
That's a dangerous play. That you turn and you throw a blind pass.
He did well though, Widdop, didn't he?
He did.
Lula here was off there. Harum scarum. Here comes Roby out of dummy half and not far away. England pushing all the buttons here. Out, oh, and it's intercepted by Kenny Dow. Big searching pass from Widdop, couldn't find his man.
Kenny Dow, great line speed. Great line speed there. He read the play, came up, and then he threw the pass. Just watch, he's off.
Wait, good.
Well, New Zealand will take great heart from that, won't they? They were under the cosh, really, on their own line. They've handled it defensively.
Wait here. Good.
Now it's a matter of just looking after the ball, clearing their own line, putting a good kick in, and starting again.
Bromwich takes the tackle. Nightingale was suggesting he might go to dummy half, but Luke takes over that role. He's going to kick. Yes, he is. Trying to get to him there, did Burgess, but he got the kick away. And it's taken by Hardacre, and Hardacre runs it back to the 40-metre mark, and a high tackle, no doubts about that, from Kevin Proctor.
Yeah, fair enough. Hardacre just gets up, doesn't say anything, it's a penalty.
Isaac Luke has been called out here in his role as joint captain. Two skippers named for New Zealand on this tour. Isaac Luke and Adam Blair.
All I'm concerned about, we've got a few daft penalties. Like balls in the ruck, we've got that one, we're going to be careless. Like, we need it tidying back up and get back onto discipline in the first half. I know, mate, that's the rules though. Just keep going.
That's the rules. Can't take his head off, Isaac. Them's the rules. Hit the shoulder, went high.
It's a fair old penalty count though, isn't it?
It is.
England's favour, that one.
We are, boys.
And it really is contributing to the amount of possession that the men in white are having. They need to capitalise upon it.
Starting props are back out there. Graham and Hill together in harness. Roby, who started the night on the bench but has figured prominently from about the 20th minute or so following the injury to Hodgson. Roby again, England with tackles in the bag. Roby goes off and gets the pass to Williams, who looks for the step. Roby's left on the ground. Williams leaves defenders on the ground. Passes to Hill. Hill thought he saw a bit of a gap, went for it. Closed quickly. Roby's still down and looking shaky. So Williams takes over at dummy half. Widdop now running away from Proctor and across towards this right-hand side.
Very rarely do you see Roby staying down.
Well, this is a concern for England because Hodgson off injured. Roby clearly rattled. So they're two specialist hookers on the night. Ooh, Samoa.
Samoa, yeah.
I tell you, it's a great tackle.
He really takes it at the line though, doesn't he? And as a hooker, a half-back, he'll take the ball at the line. There's the possibility he'll get walloped.
I think he's a brilliant player, Roby. You know, he gets the ball, he knows when to run with it on a fast play of the ball.
Well, when you get hit by an entire country, you're bound to get up with a bit of a headache, aren't you? Samoa came on the blind side. And Roby...
Clever line there. That's a very clever line, Dave. I think a lot of people have missed that.
Well,
going to repeat that?
Let's not labour the point, Jonathan. Let's carry on with the game. Let's see what the referee's got to say.
I'm putting it on report. All right, I'm playing tackle 4 over there, but the incident's going on report. Yeah, show the challenge. Yeah, I'm happy with tackle 4. It's going on report. Just wait there, please. Tackle 4.
He's put that Samoa tackle, I think, on report because there might have been a shoulder charge. That's what he's saying, I think. Here comes Graham with a charge. 22 minutes of the game remaining. England leading by 2. And rolling up is Ferris. Has he got over the line? He has. Brett Ferris second try of the night. Not the prettiest of tries he will ever score, but who cares? For England fans, it's 4 vital points. And a chance for a 2-score lead for England now.
Yeah, I think his first try was a brilliant angled run. And this is a clever finish as well, because he rolls, I think, just as he hits the defensive line. Let's have a look at it. It's just the first man up. I don't think he was expecting it, but he rolls and just slides. That's a very good finish.
It really is, and it's Hodgson who's just entered the field of play with the ball there, provides the ball. Excellent finish, but it came from a quick play, the ball once again. And that's come from the amount of possession and the New Zealanders having to do so much defending. This is a great opportunity now for England, not only to take a 2-score lead, but to close the Test match out.
Widdop right in front of the sticks, looking to add another 2 here that would give England an 8-point lead. So here comes Widdop. England have their 8-point lead, and here's Earl Crabtree.
What an absolutely massive start to this second half for the England boys. Walking back on side now, thinking about the next moment in the game. This is a vital point in this game now. They can't afford to drop the ball. Completion here. Keep the ball, keep the intensity.
He'd love to be on the field for real, wouldn't he, Earl? But he has to be suited and booted for us tonight. But 20 minutes left to play here. England lead by 20 points to 12. Can they close this out now?
Yeah, I think they've dominated the second half, and they've turned the pressure into points.
But at some stage, Dave, New Zealand will get field position. They've had no field position at the minute because England have absolutely dominated the possession and the territory.
That's a terrific carry by James Graham, really lifting his side, the prop forward, finding a route. Farrell now will try to repeat that exercise. And England on the 3rd tackle are already up to the halfway line. Hodgson back on the field, as John was saying a little earlier.
Move on! 4. Isaac, wait here, please.
Ferris scored a hat-trick last week, by the way, Brett Ferris, against the French. Or was it 4? He might have got 4. But he's certainly in the tries at the moment. Prolific. 5 tackles gone. England pressing again, 15 yards away. Hodgson goes right. Widdop to Williams. Williams puts the kick behind the line. Tuivasa-Sheck is there, but so too is the England cover. Burgess, Watkins.
That's more like it. Lovely little kick, you know. They'll have a repeat set. Momentum is certainly with England now.
Yeah, it certainly helped with carries like that from James Graham, isn't it? And then you get to the end of the set, and it's a lovely little kick through. It turns the wingman. It's in the space behind the wingman. Tuivasa-Sheck has to go across. The England chase is good enough, and it earns another repeat set. Look at the possession there, 70% England, 30% New Zealand, and the territory. That dominance in possession really is allowing England to put the sort of foot down on this game. They've got a great chance now to close this game out.
Back here, Jess. Hold the 10 back here.
Graham again finding great position, and England again with 5 tackles to go from here. Whitehead held up 20 yards away.
2. Move back here, Jesse.
4 tackles to go. England leading by 8. And another chance for Hill through that sizable gap, but dragged down from just below the knees once more. This now is Graham. What a role he's playing in the last few minutes. Almost willed himself over that line. Hodgson has a look around. Goes right. Oh, the ball went where it needed to, but Whitehead wasn't still holding on to it, and Tuivasa-Sheck will run it away. The referee says there's no advantage there. And Tuivasa-Sheck's just teasing them. And they'll go back to the scrum with New Zealand's head and feet. I think Tanya Arnold has got some news down on the touchline about injuries. Tanya.
Scrum down.
Yeah, the England doctor's been kept busy because he's assessing James Roby at the moment for concussion, but Mike Cooper has also been in the dressing room. He's been sent back out. He's got a very heavily strapped right knee and has been told to see how it goes.
So we'll keep an eye on that. 18 minutes, 17 and a half minutes of this international remaining.
Okay, wait there, please.
Rugby League's #1 nation, New Zealand, being beaten by England by 20 points to 12. New Zealand, as it stands, have to score twice if they're going to get themselves out of this hole. England have to hang on. And New Zealand will come back with some aggression in this set, you would have thought.
I think they've played exceptionally well, England. They've really dominated, 23 minutes of this. I can't remember the time New Zealand were actually in the English half.
No, New Zealand need to look after the ball, and they need to hope they get a penalty at some stage, but that won't help that. That will not help that.
Now they're forcing it now.
Samoa.
Yeah, it's just a downward spiral, isn't it, with penalties and then not completed sets through errors like that. They're playing at the line. Good defence from Widdop. Gave Samoa no chance at all to reel the ball in.
Focus, let's keep it with it. Two it there.
Some debate before the series began as to what the half-back partnership was going to be here for England. So what have you made of the Widdop and Williams combination, John?
It's growing as the game's going on, it really is. They look more and more at ease with each other. And I like it as a combination because they're not only ball players, kickers, both of them like to take the line on.
Here comes Hodgson out of that dummy half roll again, and England are pressing forward once more.
Get away! Play your ball! Play your ball!
Hardacre at dummy half. Ferres will drive it in.
Come on, lads.
England edging closer again here. 16 minutes to go. Graham, inside ball. Hardacre was waiting, but so were the Kiwi defenders.
Come on, Adam.
Hard work for New Zealand on their own line at the moment as England continue to press. Quick hands! Quick hands! Has opened the door, has it not quite?
Brilliant defence. Brilliant defence.
So Hodgson spins it away, interception on the sixth tackle. New Zealand have it back
I thought
again.
that was an opportunity, very well worked ploy by England, but a tremendous tackle. I thought he was in there. I didn't think they could stop him. What a brilliant tackle, a double tackle. That was a game saver.
Yeah, it looks as if it's going to slide over, didn't it? But Tuivasa-Sheck across there. And now all of a sudden the ball's a little quicker for New Zealand. That was a great passage of play.
Well, we talk about 12-point turnarounds in the first half. Are New Zealand about to execute something similar here? Because having saved a try, they are now in the best position they've been in for a long time. As Luke goes out of dummy half. And he's dragged down, but only 10 yards or so. With one play to go in this set. Lolia with a short pass. It's kept alive here, kept alive. The kick, though, is into English hands.
Chance here.
Taken by Hardacre. There's another England player in trouble, a little bit of strife. Is it Ferris? I'm not sure. Hardacre's just squaring up. Hardacre and Kenny now.
I think it was a trip there. I think Hardacre responded to it.
I'm not bothering with replay. Wait there.
There's nothing in it, but I just think he reacted to it.
Referee says play on.
Well, this is just before that, I think.
Yeah, I think it was that. Was it the swinging arm? Anyway.
There's nothing in that, really.
No, it's a test match, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not a touch rugby competition.
You're going to get that, aren't you? You're going to get that.
Farrell down this left-hand side, and Fares across. Grabs a hold, and two others are there to join in, and New Zealand are really turning up the heat here now.
Yeah, they realise, that's a high shot. I think they've realised they've got to make something happen here. The clock's against them at 8 points down.
Graham with a big effort in. The referee said that was around his shoulders, and Hill will take it on.
I tell you, the forwards have really stepped up. I think Hill is one. He's taking the game to them. I think Graham's another one.
So New Zealand looking for the return. Nightingale.
Last one. Move Leon! Wait there, boys. Wait!
Kenny Dowd at dummy half.
Well, in back play, Dave, there's plenty of New Zealand players walking back. And they look highly fatigued after having to defend so much in this third quarter of the game. And they're running on empty at the minute.
They have to score twice in the 12 and a bit minutes that remains. It's England's job to keep them out.
Wait for. Go.
Luke. Samoa. Hard not to say his full name every time, isn't it? Last tackle coming up. Here puts it high, Harnaker back pedals, and up and down. He's as safe as houses. He's the safest fullback in the English game under those high balls.
Yeah, Loughlin did really well. I just watched Loughlin, gets in the way. You know, it doesn't change his run, but what it does, the guy's chasing the ball has got to run around him, which makes it easier then for Hardaker to take the high ball.
Ryan Hall comes out of dummy half on tackle 3.
Come on!
England struggling to make ground towards a halfway line here just at the moment.
Yeah, good work by Burgess there, coming in to help the forwards out.
Back here, boys. Hold it here, forward.
Joe Burgess, the winger. Hodgson goes left, Widdop with the kick. I think that was on the 5th tackle. Tuivasa-Sheck will take it in. There's always the potential of danger when Tuivasa-Sheck brings it back because of that step of his, but he goes wide for teammates. And Nightingale's going no further than that.
It was an excellent line, you know, chasing that kick from the wall of white, the England team.
A very good chase.
Offload, almost intercepted.
Oof, it's nearly there.
0.
Play on, and a 0 tackle here because of the England hand.
Move, Chris! Okay, Chris,
here gets played. So the tackle count starts from here. This will be tackle 1 when and if Kenny Dowell is put down.
I think they've got to keep their discipline now, England, because I think New Zealand find it difficult to get good field position. So if they can keep the discipline, keep the defensive line in place, and try and close this game off.
That knot will be tightening just a little more in English stomachs now, because these are crucial moments. Did that get it? Yeah, it did. It got an England touch. So it's another set of 6 for New Zealand.
Ready, play your ball.
Well, they're starting to get a bit of ball now out of the Kiwis, but it's whether they've got the energy left in order to execute some good plays.
Back here, Liam.
There's Harris who's put down, and whether they've got the experience in the halves as well.
Shoulder.
Good tackle.
2, move, shot.
Loughlin came out
James, back here.
and made contact. Here's Luke. Lawler here. It's with Tuivasa-Sheck. It was knocked down by Hall. I think this is going to be another set for New Zealand from the base of the scrum, because Hall quite clearly got a touch there
They
too.
worked that so well. Tuivasa-Sheck created the danger again, and then Hall did exceptionally well to get his hand to that, because I think he was in. Sean Kelly-Dow was in.
Well, this is the time for New Zealand, it really is. They've had 3 sets now consecutively. They've got great field position. If they're going to win this game, and Stephen Kearney will know that, they need some points from this set.
This is why we love a 3-test series as well, isn't it? Because whatever happens from here on in, we want to see these two come together again. There will be unanswered questions at the end of this 80 minutes.
Get in!
There's 1 or 2 questions still to be answered at the end of the 70 minutes.
Play on. No.
He says play on.
That ball went out and no one touched it.
Move back here, one.
Hiku
back here, come on.
Is held up 10 away. This is Bromwich, Jesse Bromwich, trying to get that arm free again. You can see that.
Move, Leon!
Hardaker and Farrell working hard to make sure he can't do that. Isaac Luke spins it towards the middle. Blair with an untidy pass that is knocked on by Tuivasa-Sheck. No fault with the fullback there. It was his co-captain Blair's pass that really was the culprit.
Yeah, poor pass, very difficult, you know, running onto the ball when it's dribbling around your ankles. It's a very difficult take. Poor execution from Blair.
Yeah, still right there, Jonathan, and I think it's the error count and the penalty count really that's killed New Zealand in this second half. It really is. And England should be growing in confidence as the half goes on.
8.5 minutes to go.
Jesse!
And for the next 40 seconds or so, England should have the ball in their hands as they grind their way back towards New Zealand territory.
Wait, please, wait here, wait.
Hodgson at dummy half. Applause because Tom Burgess comes back on the field, fresh from his time on the sidelines. So extra energy and extra power down the middle. Here he comes. That's a good carry. Hodgson, Graham to his right. Graham has a lovely soft pass, and he just feigned to deliver that, but couldn't quite get it away. Here comes the 6th tackle. Widdop will put it high. They're after it. Tuivasa-Sheck will catch it, but he's surrounded by English players again.
I think they'd be happy with you know, that set. Slightly disappointing with the kick because you know they wanted to compete for it, but no, switch on, defend, and make him work for the hard yardage.
Discipline, good.
But what they are doing, Jonathan, they're turning the ball over consistently near the New Zealand line. It's making it really difficult for the Kiwis to come away and create anything.
That had a Burgess trademark stamped all over it, didn't it?
I think offensively and defensively they've picked the tempo up, haven't they? England in the second half.
So New Zealand working their way back towards the halfway line, but look at that, they've already got to their 5th tackle, so they're going to have to kick here now. Kick and hope. Luke carries it. In fact, they're going to run it. Farre now. They're at the desperation stage, but Farre's kick looks too big, looks much too big. And England will take that every day of the week. Attack back on the 20 with 6.5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
James!
And they don't need a quick tap.
No.
Let everybody get on side and then we'll restart.
The clock is their enemy now, New Zealand. You know, they're trying to force something. They feel they have to score the next time they get the ball.
Come on! Hey, go!
Roby's back on the field, so from a position of thinking that Hodgson and Roby were both injured, they've both been involved since their bangs.
I think he's definitely picked the tempo up, Roby, hasn't he? You know, quick play, the ball is darting, runs, he's kicked. And here he goes again.
Kick out a dummy half early in the tackle count, but why not? Let them put New Zealand on the back foot will be the England call. Tuivasa-Sheck, who's got a sweet step, but he's not able to sidestep through such a wall of English defence.
The New Zealand forward pack walking back. That will be a great vision for England. It really will. They know they're winning this battle of attrition.
5.5 to go. Not quite the desperation of a semi-final or a one of 4 nations game, because New Zealand know they've got 2 more bites of this cherry, that they know there's plenty of improvement in them, but England will also know, in a winning position at the moment, that there's plenty of improvement in them too. And that's a huge hit. It's another Burgess moment. Sam sideline at the moment, but Tom's taking up the family mantle.
Yeah, against his club member, isn't it?
To the South Sydney Stars. That ball's gone to ground, and the referee says it was knocked on. It's the 5th tackle, the 6th tackle rather, so it's a turnover, and England get it back again.
Yeah, tremendous tackle, isn't it? From I think he's had a massive, massive impact. It really has. He had a big impact in the first half, and returning again after a good stint early in the second half. It's been tremendous how he's carried the ball, how he's defended.
I think the pack has been, you know, very, very good in the second half. Everyone's done their share. You know, Hill, Graham, and obviously Burgess has been good as well.
Well, they've known the jobs and they've done the jobs.
And you know, I think Roby has been influential as well on the back of their performance.
Come on, Isaac, keep coming.
This is Roby, and he's got Graham to his right, and Graham with a step, and look at that. Look at that. This stage of a game, big man down the middle who's got through so much work is still channeling all that energy. Here comes Widdop, Farrell stepping. Waiting for him was Kevin Proctor.
That's 4. Away, Kevin!
So a couple of tackles to come.
Wait here, wait.
England, 10 away. Widdop with a little kick through. It hits a Kiwi leg. The referee says play on. It's dropped on, I think, by Proctor in the end. No, it's England who have it back again. Proctor couldn't keep hold. 0 tackle, 6 to go, and England are only 5 yards out. Roby now.
That's 1.
Held up. Couple of yards away. England eating up the clock. Surely they're in a winning position now. Surely they can't let this slip. Widdop again. Another score seals it. But they're just happy to run that clock down, it seems.
Bang!
Roby going left. O'Loughlin sliding up. The skipper has won it for England. Sean O'Loughlin diving over. It's a captain's knock. It's a victorious evening in Hull for England Rugby League. They have got the first test signed, sealed and delivered.
Yeah, and that's right, you know, it's fitting that one of the forwards scores again to just end this game. Yeah, lose the ball, I thought he had it, but he just, you know, lost control. Oh, this is it. again, Roby takes it out. Oof, he just bumps him off. That's a good finish, Loughlin, good finish. I think,
Adam Blair came across there and had every right to smash a Loughlin. He's come off worse, hasn't he?
He went in for the big hit and came off second best. And that's a great finish by Loughlin.
Well, England have been absolutely relentless this second half. They really have. They've looked after the ball well, they've kicked well, they've defended very well when they've had to, and they've taken the chances. They can feel really happy with this second half performance and obviously the result of the game.
Well, Adam Blair is still receiving treatment here, I think. There you see, he came flying across to absolutely... Loughlin was standing stock still. Blair came flying across to smash him, and just the sheer presence of a Loughlin. Blair's come off second best by a distance. One captain against the other, two number 13s. One comes up with a prize. The other needs about 5 minutes of treatment. Well, he's more a relieved man, a happier man, but he knows there's still a big job to be done for this series to be sealed, that this is only part one. They come in all shapes and sizes. Rugby league fans here. But they are, for the most part, very happy rugby league fans. So Blair limps to the sidelines. England marching towards victory here. 24 points to 12. And once Gareth Winnipers kicked this goal, there's not going to be a lot of time left in the game, John Keir.
No, they've been tremendous, haven't they?
Well, he'll take all the time in the world, all the drama, all the tension has gone out of this game here.
It has, and they've earned it, Dave.
Yep.
They've really earned this. They started off very tentatively the first 20, finished the first half the better, and the second half, England have totally dominated, and the scoreboard reflects that.
And it's an evolution, isn't it? It's the next step by England. They've got themselves within touching distance of Australia and New Zealand over the last couple of years. Well, here today in Hull, they've got themselves over the line. It might have gone awry when they were losing 10-0 early in the first half, but they've dug deep. They've dug very deep, and they find themselves now leading by 26 points to 12. It's going to be 1-0 England at the end of the night. And Jonathan Davis and John Keir, you two have had the duty of picking the man of the match.
Yeah, I think, you know, Widdop and the front row, Hill and Graham have done well, but I think we've got to pick first to lead man of the match. I think for his impact and 2 tries at crucial times. There he is, Brett Ferris.
Well, he's not had the smoothest of seasons, has he, with injuries and suspension along the way, but my word, how well it is ending. And what about this fella's impact as well? Tom Burgess off the bench has been a solid figure down the middle. Here's Williams.
Well, England now don't look nervy. England look as if they're enjoying it and they're energised. And it augurs well for the remaining 2 games.
Well, they know they have what they did well in the second half. That's what they'll take into the next 2 Test series. That's what they have to repeat, because I think I think they are the most powerful pack, and then it gives a platform for the half-backs. We haven't seen Callum Watkins much tonight, or Hardacre, but that will come in the next 2 Tests.
What about that chase at this stage of a game? 79 minutes played, a kick downfield. I think there were 8 England players all up there.
And it was the kicker who made the tackle, Gareth Widdop, who I think's done a pretty good job as well today.
And I think the intensity has certainly been lifted in the second half. Earl was on pitch side in the first half, and he said it lacked a little bit of intensity. Certainly hasn't been the case in the second half, and they've come away as comfortable winners, having been 10 points down as well.
I suggest you might see better games of rugby league in this Test series. But
it's a test, though, Dave. This is like, you have small margins. That's what Test rugby is all about. You're not going to score on every set. You've got to work for your points, and England have certainly done that.
So here we go. The countdown takes us to 80 minutes. The hooter sounds in the background. Sean O'Loughlin's late try, sealing a very good England win. They take the 1-0 lead.